Welcome to the Critically Clueless. I'm the Monk and I'm here today with another video on Warzone. More specifically, how to win a game of Plunder. So at the moment, Plunder is squads. It's actually blood money, not plunder, and therefore kills guarantee money. There are cash drops in order to get money, attack choppers, loot boxes. First one to 1,000,000 automatically gets banked. You get 4 minutes after that to hold your lead. Now, I've tried a lot of different methods to win Plunder, and I've been successful with most of the methods. Really, at the end of the day, all you need, the most important thing, is a good squad. Everyone with the same mindset to get as much money as possible. End of the day, it doesn't really matter how you get that money, as long as you all contribute to getting the money. Now, there are certain things that I tend to stay away from. I try to stay away from unnecessary gunfights. I try to stay away from cash drops, the attack choppers. I also try to stay away from banking my money. At the end of the day, I feel like it only takes 4 minutes for a good team to get £250,000, which at the moment it is, because it's quads, before your money gets banked anyway. So I tend to not bank money unless I get a cash balloon. I'll go into that a bit later. And so my top tip really is to get a good squad with you. And after that, learn loot patterns. Now, you all know different areas of the map better than someone else. Or, you know where you like to drop, and you know the layout of the building. Some of you really like the prison. Personally, I don't know the prison, so I get lost in the prison. Some of you will know the airport better, or the dam, or maybe it's a place on the map that isn't named. But there's no point me telling you where I loot and my loot pattern, because you may not know that area as well, and therefore those valuable seconds you're trying to look for a box rather than know exactly where it is, it's wasted time. That's why I say drop where you want to drop. Try and drop close enough so you can support each other if necessary, but not too close that you're actually overlapping. I highly recommend when you're in an airplane, each marking out your little groups of houses that you're gonna loot, and discuss where you're gonna move on from there. It saves time. At the end of the day, that is what Plunder is all about, trying to get that money as absolute quickly as possible. Leading into that, I'm going to go into setup a little bit. Now, I have my own Plunder setup. The way I do it, really, the most important thing to be talking about are the perks. So I use double time. It increases your sprint speed. I also use hardline. Now, hardline's an interesting perk. I never used to use it really. In fact, I used to have Point Man, which increased the amount of cash. I think it's £2,000. It does stack, so it will go up to £8,000 extra in a contract completion. But I don't do contracts anymore. Now, doing a contract at the end is £90,000 guaranteed. Very, very good, especially in the last 4 minutes. You probably get 2 of them done. Something to consider. But at the moment, I'm using hardline. Now, why I use that is because it gives me more AUVs, cluster strike airstrikes. I don't really care about them. Most importantly, you have a chance of getting the cash balloons, the cash deposit balloons, that are really helpful. Now, I typically get about 2 of these balloons every match because I'm using hardline. That's guaranteed money being banked. Just in case the inevitable happens, we all die sometimes. We can, we're not always going to have a perfect game. We're going to get into gunfights, and some of those gunfights we're going to lose no matter how good we are. So, getting that cash balloon can really help. The other thing about this setup is high mobility weapons. Now, personally, for a secondary, I use a Renetti pistol. I love my Renetti. I wouldn't change it for the world. But some of you may want to go down to the melee. The knife, I think, is the only melee weapon at the moment, but it increases your melee speed, increases your running speed, your movement speed a lot, quite significantly, to carrying an AR or an LMG or a sniper rifle, for instance. Rapidly slow you down. I think SMGs would be a good way to go as well. If you want, like me, I want a bit of firepower when I'm running about rather than just a knife. You know, those split seconds, you might not have the time to switch weapons. But this will increase your movement speed. It means your looting speed will be quicker, and you'll be able to get more cash quicker as a team. And then, boom, you're done. You've got your £1,000,000. You're into the final 4 minutes. You keep looting as much as you can. Now, a little while ago, I managed to get a game of 2.6 million, I think. So that's 1.6 million after the 1K, the 1 million was actually banked. Now, that's pretty impressive. And at the end of the day, it came down to having a good team who all had the same mindset to get as much cash as possible. And this playstyle works so well at the moment in the current meta of Plunder. I would highly recommend trying it out. If any of you have any questions, or maybe you even want a game with me, I'll drop my gamer tag in the description. I can even drop my activation code in the description. You know, hit me up. We'll have a couple of games and we'll go over Plunder if you want, or BR. I've been the Monk. We've been the Critically Clueless. Hope you've enjoyed the video. See you next time.